No, basically, obviously happy with the scoreline, happy that we got a shutout. I thought we played very well in the first half. Got on top of the game, had that 2-0 lead. Last time we did that, they came back and equalized the game, so we wanted to make sure we didn't let them back into the game. Second half, tempo slowed down a little bit, but even then, I thought we had some good opportunities and to score some goals, and then the penalty at the end was just the icing on the cake and gave everybody a haircut.
Martin scored tonight, Johnson scored tonight, got Dempsey now. Is this a good problem to have?
Yeah, having good players is always a good problem to have. So adding a player like Clint's going to be very important to our team, and our team tonight went out there and shows that we can play. I think tonight we set a record for games undefeated at home, consecutive games undefeated at home, and that's something that has really helped us, our home form so far. So, being able to score from different places on the field, getting Oba on the scoreline, getting Eddie, Lamar gets taken down for the PK. We've got to continue to be dangerous, from numerous sources.
How did the club get the Dempsey news, and do you think that the stadium buzz or getting that word in any way revitalized them a little bit tonight?
Well, obviously we're going to talk a lot about Clint tomorrow. Today he came in before the game, we introduced him to the guys, so he met the guys on the team before the game. I wanted them to know before everybody else knew. And, so it was good. I think everybody, realizes, that we have the potential to get to the playoffs. That's where we need to get to. We need to get to the playoffs, put ourselves in a good position, and then make noise. Last year the two fifth-place teams ended up playing for MLS Cup. So, we're right now, technically point-wise, we're not in the playoff picture. When you figure points per game, we're pretty close, and we just now have to make sure we get in the playoffs.
You talked a lot about wanting to make sure to get Nagel and Johnson and Oba kind of clicking together on the field. Do you feel like tonight was maybe the first time they really clicked together?
Yeah, I thought tonight was their best game together as a group of three, for sure, and especially against a team like Dallas, which plays really a five-man midfield, when you look at it, and only one up top, so you're always short somebody there, but Ozzie and Evans did a good job of taking care of the more attacking guys, and there were times where Oba took turns, Nagel, Eddie sometimes took turns dealing with the guy who went deep. So from the defensive standpoint, they did a good job, and offensively, I thought they were all involved, in our offense. They all played roles in the attack. They found each other. They combined with each other as well.
Does that still feel like a group you feel comfortable going forward with, even with the addition?
Yeah, definitely. That group, and and we'll see where we slot in Clint.
What did you talk about Marcus's play tonight? He felt like he was kind of in seventh heaven there in front of the crowd and the way he went there.
Obviously it was a great night for Marcus. I'm glad he was healthy enough to be able to come back. We talked before the game. He says, "Well, I'm about 95%." But what we're saying, and we were talking to our trainer, we're saying, "Well, if I have to be 100%, I wouldn't have played many games in my career." So 95% is really, really good. And and it's a really big hamstring, so it took a while for us to get that hamstring back into shape. So, but he felt good. He went out this morning and ran a little bit and went for a jog, walked his dog to make sure that he was ready to go. And I think Marcus's presence, and his experience certainly helped us, and it was one of the reasons we brought him here. I'm really thrilled for him to be able to get out on the field in a league game, in an MLS game, in front of his home crowd, in his home city, and there's no better feeling. It probably gave him goosebumps.
Were you ever worried that he was never going to get this chance to play in front of this 40,000 crowd?
Sometimes you think about that, but we'd have made it happen somehow. But obviously his opportunity is here right now, so he's going to make the best of it.
He's got a 14-year shutout streak, apparently, Matt pointed out.
Yeah, I don't think that record will ever be broken. 14 years between MLS starts. That might be one he might have for the ages.
Do you expect maybe spurning for next week, or for that matter, do you know when Dempsey makes his debut?
We'll see with Geschbernik. I think it's more, again, with him, it's a day-to-day thing, how he does each day. Clint will start training with us next week. He's gone through part of preseason already with Tottenham. So he's a pretty fit guy. He'll be ready to go.
How do you carry this momentum forward going on the road for your next two?
Well, we've always been a good road team. So far this year, our record on the road hasn't been quite maybe to our standards. And one of the things we talked about before the season was getting more points at home and getting the same amount of points on the road. So our objective is still to get to the same amount of points on the road as we had last year. So that means going into Toronto with an eye to win. We're not going into the Toronto game hoping that we can scrape by with a tie. We want to get on the field there. We want to win the game there.
Is there any sense that you guys have kind of, I don't know, sinking ever was the right word, but do you feel like you've kind of stabilized the ship a little bit with this home run?
Yeah, I mean, I never thought we were sinking. So, but I'm an optimist. So, so for me, when you look at our record and compare it to other years, it's comparable, but sometimes just the way wins and losses fall into place, the way the schedule fell into place this year with us having less games than other teams. So when you looked at the standings, we're in a place that we're not used to being in the standings near the bottom, which isn't always a reflection of points per game. It's a reflection of points, and so having played less games have made it difficult for us. So I think the guys never gave up belief in there, but certainly there were things we needed to do better. And I think guys have stepped up their game. You look at Mauro Rosales, I think over the last 2-3 games, he's certainly stepped up his game, and it shows, with the assist on the free kick, but just other plays within the game, quickness and a sharpness, that wasn't there maybe 2 months ago. So everybody, I think, has stepped up their game as well.
Team clicking, rising, or how would you, if you weren't sinking?
I think we're rising. Yeah, we weren't sinking. We were staying afloat. Okay, I don't think we were exactly motoring across the river or whatever, but we're definitely, I think, starting to rise and starting to find our comfort with each other. The Evans and Alonso in the middle again look like they understand each other and are comfortable there, so that's helping our game also. And as I said, the more games, Eddie and Oba and Nagel can get together, that makes them more understanding of each other.
Just in a general sense, what did you think of the reaction that Clint got when he was standing out there?
Well, I didn't see the introduction, so I didn't hear the crowd, but I imagine they should have gone crazy. I heard his scarf's up, and it was great. Our fans are great. Our fans are great. That's number one. But our fans are also knowledgeable. And, they ooh and ah at the right time. They pay attention to the game. They're watching the game. They know what's going on in the game. That's what I tell all my friends when they come up here, to watch games. It's not a crowd that's just there to be seen. It's a crowd that's part of the game. And, so I think they know who Clint Dempsey is. I think they know what he can provide for our team. And I'm sure the acknowledgement they gave him was a reflection of that.
You've talked a lot about how impressed you are tonight with the tifo that they put up, I guess. Imagine you were impressed to see that they threw together a tifo in 24 hours or whatever it was when you first heard about it.
Yeah, they were pretty good. They were pretty good about that, staking out the airport and all that stuff. But the main thing tonight is us winning. Us getting a shutout, us scoring 3 goals. Winning the season series now with Dallas. We still have to go down there and play, and continuing to climb up the ladder of the standings and continuing to improve on our points per game. That's the story tonight.
How do you feel about Patrick Ianni's playing on 2 games back-to-back?
Well, obviously, it's been good. We've only allowed 1 goal in those 2 games. As I said, one of the reasons was we felt he was a little more comfortable with the ball. And I think that's helped us, although a couple of times in the second half it almost hurt us. But that's till you find your rhythm and find the right decisions that you can make. But I think he's done well. He's been solid.
Anything else?